All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So it's Senior Bowl week, right, in the NFL, and this is something that I always look forward to every single offseason. Just all these new college players that are entering the NFL, some ranging from early first-round picks all the way down to guys that are trying to be drafted. Everybody's competing. You got everybody, pretty much everybody from the NFL universe, from general managers down to head coaches, scouts, executives, all in one town in Mobile, Alabama. And I actually went a couple times years ago. So much fun. I just met a ton of people, had a bunch of really good just experiences from top to bottom. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but we're looking ahead, right? 2023, the off season. This is whenever you're talking about multiple GMs in the same town, the chances of potential trades, things like that, are talked about, right? And it was actually reported from, I believe, Albert Breer saying that the legwork was done between the LA Rams and the Detroit Lions with the whole Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford trade. The legwork began in Mobile. Now, in this one, I wanted to ask the question, with the QB needy Jets desperately looking for a quarterback here, and Woody Johnson obviously willing to fork over the cash and fork over, capital, whether that's, players or draft assets here. Should the Jets position themselves to be a front runner for one of these quarterbacks that could be on the move, whether it's in a couple of days, whether that's in weeks or maybe months, when we look at Aaron Rodgers and where he kind of stands on what he wants to do moving forward with retirement on the table. Now let's talk about Derek Carr first, because this is the one that actually has a deadline here. February 15th, the Raiders have got to make a decision. We either have to trade Derek Carr or cut him, or else the $40 million becomes fully guaranteed for next season. Now, that isn't necessarily a bad thing for a team acquiring him. Yeah, of course, it's a lot of money, but at the end of the day, Derek Carr is a good quarterback. It is a bad thing, though, for the Raiders, because now they're on the hook. Now, Raiders GM Dave Ziegler has already been confirmed as one of the general managers attending. Not every general manager goes, but the majority of them do, but he's going. Okay, so again, according to Albert Breer, the Panthers, Commanders, Saints, Buccaneers, and Jets all should have a significant level of interest in acquiring Carr one way or another. Of course, some teams might opt to hold back, wait for him to be released, and try to make a play that way. Others might be more aggressive, the more desperate teams out there. I'm looking at the Jets, I'm looking at the Carolina Panthers. Those... And even Washington to a certain degree. I don't see the Saints maybe pulling off a trade for Derek at this point. Same with the Buccaneers, with Tom Brady's future up in the air as well. I think for me, the finalists for Derek Carr, Washington, Carolina, and the New York Jets. I think those three teams all have a significant level of pressure on them to figure this position out. Will it push a GM? This week specifically, will all these GMs being in the same room with the connections being so seamless here, could that make a deal easier? Right, in the case of Derek Carr, again, $40 million is a lot of cash, and the Jets right now aren't in the best cap situation. But I'll say this, when talking about a potential Derek Carr trade, it wouldn't take that much to get him, right? It's no secret. The Raiders are completely done with Derek Carr, and it seems like Carr has moved on. He wants to go to an organization that is stable, that has, a solid defense in place, and that could actually make a playoff push. I believe all three teams, Washington, the Panthers, and the Jets, check all three of those boxes. The Jets on the stable end, that's a little up in the air, just because we don't know what's happening with the quarterback position. Once that's figured out, I feel like I would personally have a lot more confidence in this coaching staff sticking with the team for the foreseeable future. Of course, depending on who we roll out there, but I'm thinking all it would take is a day 2 pick, right? A middle round pick here, like a 3rd round pick, maybe a 2nd round pick. If you really are convinced Derek Carr is your guy, right? If one of these GMs is looking at Derek saying, this is our franchise quarterback for at least 3-4 seasons here. He's young, he's durable, he's been productive, he's been a great teammate. I mean, I actually posted a video yesterday on Derek Carr, just listing off all the reasons why I personally would love, I would love Derek Carr wearing green and white next season. I would be a massive fan of that. So again, day 2 pick, second round pick, third round pick, maybe a futures pick thrown in there as well. But at the end of the day, it's hard to really lose a trade when one side is completely done, right? There's no games, there's no poker face here. The Raiders are moving off of Carr, so obviously whatever team is acquiring Carr here, again, talking about a potential trade, it's not going to be the most difficult thing in the world to rip off a trade, right? To get that bargain. Now, in regards to Aaron Rodgers, this is still up in the air because Rodgers holds all the cards. He doesn't know if he wants to play football. He could be, he could want to stick with Green Bay for the rest of his career. He actually mentioned that on the McAfee show last week. It's not out of the question. So we're all just kind of waiting around for Rodgers to make up his mind here, but I'll say this. That doesn't stop Joe Douglas and the Jets and the Green Bay Packers from talking about it, right? Maybe a verbal agreement, maybe a handshake deal. Of course, nothing is set in stone and everything like that, but you can get on the same page with another organization. If Joe Douglas makes it a priority, which I think he will, he could easily get the Green Bay Packers to listen to what he has to say, and kind of talk with the assumption that Rodgers wants to play and that Green Bay might want to move off. Right, because I don't necessarily know if Green Bay is 100%. I know Adam Schefter reported that league sources were saying that Green Bay would prefer to move off of Rodgers. Yes, of course, there's credibility to that, but at the end of the day, nobody really knows for sure. If Rodgers says, I'm playing and I want to retire a Packer, is Green Bay really going to say, no, we're trading you anyway, see you later? There's a chance. Right, it could happen, but you never know. Maybe that sways Green Bay's, the Packers' opinion the other way. So the point is, yes, we're still waiting on Rodgers, but that verbal handshake could be in place. That could be done this week. You can talk compensation. You can talk about what the future holds, where the Packers are standing right now, how they're viewing the entire situation. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.